Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Preview to our game against Leicester City, the second time in 2 weeks. This time, however, we play at Old Trafford and we are playing in the Premier League, which is where we definitely need to start getting points and moving up the table, as I said before the game against Chelsea already. Subscribe to the channel, drop a like, let me know in the comment section what you think will happen in this game. What are your predictions? Of course, who would you like to start in this game? And of course, what do you think of Ruud and his interim period coming to an end? Or of course, do you want him to stay on as part of Ruben Amorim's backroom staff when he does come in next week? So let's get into it. Now, Leicester City, of course, we played them already in the Carabao Cup and we had a 5-2 win, an emphatic win, in my opinion. And it was, after Erik ten Hag was, relieved of his duties as Manchester United manager. And that game in itself, gave us a bit of insight into how Ruud changed up the team. Not too much, but a slight few changes, that made us a bit more clinical in front of goal. We then played Chelsea and, we were back to our old selves, unable to finish, and unable to keep a clean sheet. But against Pauk, we seemed much more different. Changes were made to the team with Lindelof and Evans coming in, and we seemed to be much more better in terms of how we played defensively, but also offensively, especially in that second half. But of course, that was only a team that is, in my opinion, weaker than a Leicester City. They're not really on, in my opinion, Leicester City's level. And of course, you know, those type of games, these type of teams are teams that we should be winning. And Leicester City is no different to that. They are 15th in the Premier League table. And here's the stat for you. They're only 2 points behind us. And if they win, yeah, they will go above us in the table and we will drop down even further. If we win, however, we already only 6 points off the top four, 6 points away from Chelsea, who is in fourth place. And if we do win, we could be 3 points behind Chelsea, of course, depending on their results and other results, throughout the Premier League. But we need to be winning this game against Leicester City. They might be 15th in the table, but they are a team that we should be winning, in my opinion, especially at home. Not just because of a win in Europe against Pauk, no, but because it is Old Trafford. We want to show ourselves. The players have spoken after the game, and reports have come out saying that they are excited, to play under Ruben Amorim, and are excited, at what he can bring to the club based on what they saw, with him at Sporting. And that's all good and well, but it's going to come down to their efforts, their work rate, their hard work and desire, for Ruben Amorim and Manchester United, because we've seen in games recently and last season and seasons before where the players just don't care, where they just don't run hard enough, they don't tackle, they don't close down, they don't press, they don't defend well enough, etc., etc. So many, schoolboy errors we make throughout these games, and there needs to be a change under Ruben Amorim, in my opinion. And Ruud has brought a bit of personality. The players have said after games that they, love having him around. He's been good for the team. His communication has been excellent. He listens to every player. As Ahmad said after the game against Pauk last night. But in itself, we know that he's not going to be the main man at Manchester United in terms of the staff. And there might be a case of him staying. There might also be the case of him leaving, depending on what Ruben Amorim decides, as the days do come along. But in itself, like I said, there should be a win against Leicester City, without a doubt. And that in itself brings me to the starting 11 that I think Ruud should go with. Now, for me, the team that he played against Pauk was good enough to win against Pauk. And of course, there should be changes for the game against Leicester City. And the only changes that I would make is bringing Rashford in on the left-hand side to start over Garnacho, and bringing in De Ligt and Martinez at centre-back. But Ahmad and Mazraoui needs to start on the right-hand side as a partnership for that right-hand side, because what they showed against Pauk is definitely what can happen in more games if they play more together, because they are both intelligent with and without the ball. Their defensive positioning, their work rate, how they play the ball in between each other, and they link up play with one another is very, very, very good to see. And not just good to see, it's also very good to have in our team, because too many times in the years gone by, we've only been a team that attacks on the left hand side. So having Masraoui and Ahmad on the right hand side provides us with a bit of balance to have an attack on that side and of course to attack on the left hand side. Now I know Garnacho has started a lot of games, in recent weeks, and hasn't really been dropped in that regard. But he has produced goals and assists, yes. But his last two games, Chelsea and of course against Park last night, has not been good. And I think for this particular game against Leicester, Rashford needs to start on the left hand side. Oyland, of course, starting up front because I think he is the main striker, the number 9 for Manchester United, and needs to be scoring goals, needs to be creating opportunities for himself, but also his teammates need to look to find him more when he is making those movements in and around the box, because he does make those movements, he does run in behind, but the ball just doesn't get to him. So we need to look to play him the ball and create opportunities for him, but he also needs to create opportunities for himself as a striker. Of course, we've seen it with previous strikers at Manchester United, but he needs to do this for himself. The rest of the team should be as it is: Casemiro, Ugarte, Dalot at left back, and of course Onana in goal. I think that team is good enough and should be strong enough to go and get us the 3 points which we desperately need, in my opinion. We can't keep dropping points in the Premier League, because eventually if we keep dropping points, it's going to come to a point where we can't climb up the table, and top 4 is going to be very, very impossible to get. Right now it's still mathematically possible, but throughout the rest of the season, maybe we might not get top 4, maybe we get into the top 6, but we need to be looking at the Europa League as an avenue to get into the Champions League. Ruben Amorim, when he comes in, needs to have the Europa League as a target to win it, but to win it with the mindset of getting Champions League for Manchester United for next season. So that needs to be the focus for this particular game. We need to just go out there, get a win, perform, play well, and have a good momentum and a good spirit and a good vibe at the club for when Ruben Amorim does come in. And then we can start to see the changes that he brings to the club, and of course what will happen going forward for the rest of the season, and where our expectations might be in terms of what we want to see as a successful season this season for Manchester United. Subscribe to the channel, drop a like, let me know in the comment section what do you think the score will be against Leicester City, and of course who do you want to start, and what do you think of Ruben Amorim coming in next week, and what changes he might make at Manchester United in the short term, not just the long term. Have a wonderful day further. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the game, Red Devils. Till we see each other again soon. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. If you want more content on Manchester United, like, share and subscribe.